Today we are covering Python web scraping, the complete 2026 guide. West po abang chasing like ang medyo web pong 46 OP application, heavy legible syntax, massive library ecosystem, and mature frameworks, making the default language for everything from quick data pulls to enterprise scale crawling. Over 70% of web scraping projects use Python, and no other language offers the same breadth of scraping tools. This guide covers every major Python scraping approach, from simple HTTP requests to headless browser automation. For this, you'll learn which tool fits which job, how to handle real-world challenges like JavaScript rendering and anti-bot systems, and how to integrate proxies for reliable large-scale scraping. OneMove's web scraping advantage comes down to three things. The library ecosystem. Request Bastopoi, Scrapy, Selenium, Playwright, httpx, lxml covers every scraping need with battle-tested solutions. Python's clean syntax makes scraping scripts accessible to non-specialists who need to maintain them, and Python connects directly to pandas, databases, CSV and JSON exports, and machine learning tools. The language handles everything, from a 10-line script that grabs a single table to a distributed crawler processing millions of pages daily. Setting up your environment means creating a dedicated virtual environment for your project, then installing the core libraries, requests, Bastop-4, Liassims, httpx, parsel, Scrapy, Selenium, and Playwright. For Playwright, you also need to install the Chromium browser separately. Method 1 is request plus Bastop-, the simplest and most common Python scraping stack. Request handles HTTP and Bastop handles parsing. It's best for static HTML pages, simple data extraction, and beginners. You fetch a page with a URL and user agent header, parse the HTML with Liassims, then loop through elements to extract titles, prices, ratings, or whatever data you need. Pagination works by iterating through page URLs until you've collected everything. Method 2 is httpx, the modern replacement for requests. It supports async HTTP tool and connection pooling out of the box, making it best for high-performance scraping, async pipelines, and HTTP2 sites. It works as a drop-in replacement for requests in synchronous code, and its async client lets you scrape multiple pages concurrently. Method 3 is Scrapy, a full-featured framework with built-in concurrency, pipelines, middleware, and export. It's best for large-scale projects, crawling entire sites, and production systems. Scrapy handles pagination, concurrency, retries, and data export automatically. Method 4 is Selenium, which controls a real browser, making it ideal for JavaScript-heavy sites and interaction-based scraping. It's best for sites requiring login, clicking, scrolling, or complex JavaScript rendering. You configure a headless Chrome instance, wait for content to load using explicit waits, then extract data from the rendered DOM. Method 5 is Playwright, the newest browser automation library, offering better performance and reliability than Selenium for modern web applications. It's best for single-page apps and modern React, Vue, or Angular sites. It supports both synchronous and async usage, with the async version better suited for scraping multiple pages at once. For rate limiting, add random delays between requests, typically 1 to 3 seconds minimum, to avoid triggering anti-bot systems. If a site loads data via JavaScript, check the network tab in your browser first. Many single-page apps fetch data from JSON API endpoints you can call directly with requests, which is faster and simpler than rendering JavaScript. For sites that truly require rendering, use Playwright or Selenium. Retry logic means wrapping your requests in error handling that retries on failure with exponential backoff. Proxies are essential for large-scale scraping to avoid IP blocks and access geo-restricted content. With requests, you pass a proxy dictionary to each request. With httpx, you configure the proxy at the client level. With Scrapy, you enable the HTTP proxy middleware in settings and pass the proxy URL per spider request. Rotating proxies means cycling through a pool of addresses on each request. Rotating proxies means cycling through a pool of addresses on each request. For storing data, CSV works well for flat tabular data. JSON is better for nested structures. SquidLite lets you query and filter your results with SQL Pro. And loading data into a pandas data frame gives you the full data analysis toolkit. Best practices: check robots.txt before scraping a site. Set 1 to 3 second delays between requests and match the site's capacity. Reuse HTTP sessions or clients for connection pooling. Implement retries, timeouts, and logging. Vary your user agent header to avoid pattern detection. Rotate through residential or data center proxies for large projects. Save raw HTML during development to avoid refetching. Check whether the site has a public or semi-public API before scraping, since APIs are faster and more reliable. Always store the complete raw response before parsing so you can reparse without refetching. On common questions, the best Python library depends on your use case. Request plus pay is the fastest to get started for simple static pages. Scrapy provides built-in concurrency and pipelines for large projects. Playwright offers the best performance and reliability for JavaScript-heavy sites. Web scraping legality depends on what you scrape, not the language. Scraping publicly available data is generally legal, but you should respect terms of service, avoid scraping personal data without consent, and comply with laws like GDPR and CFAA. For JavaScript-heavy sites, you have three options. Check the browser's network tab for API calls. Since many SPAs load data from JSON endpoints, you can call directly with requests, use a headless browser like Playwright or Selenium to render JavaScript, or combine Scrapy with Playwright for large-scale JS scraping. Or for me, to avoid getting blocked, use rotating proxies, vary your user agent headers, add random delays between requests, and respect the site's robots.txt. For heavily protected sites, consider anti-detect browser configurations or residential proxies. With async libraries like httpx or Scrapy's built-in concurrency, Python can process hundreds of pages per second on static sites. Browser-based scraping with Selenium or Playwright is slower, typically 1 to 10 pages per second due to rendering overhead. The bottleneck is usually network latency and rate limiting, not Python speed. That's the complete Python web scraping guide for 2026. Come back and revisit any section you need and check out dataresearchtools.com for more on proxies, scraping, and automation. Thanks for tuning in.